Welcome to the Business Owner Clarity Series, where we help business owners get out of the day-to-day and build a business that works without them. If you're joining us live, let us know where you're watching from. If you are catching the replay, then go ahead and pop replay in the comments. We'd love to be able to connect with you and find out who you are and what your business is all about. So today's conversation is for the business owner who's ever thought, if I could just find the right person, everything would get easier. But then what happens? You hire someone and somehow you're still answering all the questions, you're solving all the problems, you're checking everyone's work, and you're wondering why hiring hasn't made your life any easier. If that's you, stick with us. We're going to talk about why hiring feels so risky and why it doesn't solve the problem and what successful business owners do differently. But before we get into that, I want you to think about your own business just for a minute. Because chances are this really isn't about hiring at all. It's about something different, something a little deeper. So I want you to think, just hear me out for a minute and listen to any of these and see if anything sounds familiar to you. If I just do it myself, it's just going to be faster, or nobody does it as well as I do. Or I'd love to hire someone, but I'm afraid I'll hire the wrong person. Or I just can't find anyone to work these days. Like nobody really wants to work and nobody takes the ownership and does it right. So if you've ever thought of any of those, you're definitely not alone. Almost every business owner that we work with has said the exact same thing. And here's what's interesting. Those aren't really hiring problems. They're symptoms. So bear with me for a moment. They're business structure problems because hiring doesn't automatically create freedom. It only creates freedom if the business is ready for someone else to succeed. So most owners think that they need another employee. They get the leads coming in, they're doing really well, and they're like, okay, I need to hire someone. But what they need first is they need an operating system that allows someone else to be successful. So the gap isn't people, it's actually the system first. So you want to look at hiring, you want to look at creating your system and then hiring the people. So the gap right there is your operating system of your business. So if you don't have one, every single employee that you hire just becomes another person who depends on the owner. And that's why hiring can actually create more stress instead of less. So, one of the things we've learned from coaching thousands of business owners around the world over the last 30 years is that businesses that scale aren't built around exceptional owners. Of course, everyone, all the business owners that are listening, you're all exceptional, absolutely. But they're built around exceptional operating systems. And that's what we do here at Action Coach. We help business owners install an operating system that creates clarity around how the work is getting done. Who owns what? What are the positional agreements? What is your onboarding system? What's your training system that you have? How are your decisions made? And how is success measured? Because if those things only exist in the owner's head, the owner becomes the operating system. Like that's exhausting. All right. And that's why you've probably heard like the owner is the bottleneck of the business because you have the expertise. So the way that we want to do this is we want to think about what systems are needed first. So the first thing that we want to talk about is the owner becoming the system. So if every question, every decision, every approval, and every problem still comes back to you, your business isn't running on a system, it's running on you. And the longer that continues, the harder it becomes. So you want to look at that, like what systems I need to put into place. And the second thing that I want to point out is delegation. So delegation isn't about just handing off the work. You want to be able to transfer the ownership. So most owners think they're delegating, they're just really assigning tasks. So real delegation means someone else owns the outcome. So that requires of the business owner to know what are the clear expectations? What's the training that I have set up in place for the team members? What's the accountability? And do I trust this other person? Because if every decision comes back to you, you haven't delegated, you've just delayed the interruption. And here's something else. Sometimes we can look at the issue of like the symptom of a business without clear systems and clear ownership, but we don't look at how can I remove myself from the business? Because if you started your business, you probably started it because you wanted to have more freedom, wanted to have more freedom with your time, spend time with your family, doing the things that you want to do. And most business owners have their business wrapped around them, and they don't build the business strategically to have it work without them. So the goal is removing yourself as the answer to every question. So the way that you're going to look at doing that is when you want to scale your business, you want to make sure that the you scale because the business becomes more predictable. So it's not about working harder to get that freedom. It's really about creating and building a business that doesn't depend on everything for you. And how do you do that? You do that through creating the right systems. So, in fact, I was just talking with one of our clients a couple of days ago. And after we started putting together an operating system for their onboarding, so they've got a training now and they've got everything put into videos. They have it all structured so that now they're able to take their business and they're able to expand in different territories and open up different locations. And the reason they're able to do that is because they have the system in place. So they don't have to go out and retrain. They've got everything on video. It's structured step by step so that when they hire the person, it's just here's our training, here's our onboarding, here's everything that we have. And they were able to help build not only the business that they had, but now they've expanded in other locations. So think about your own business. What's the vision that you have for your business? And if you are wanting to, maybe you're wanting to double your revenue or your profits for the year. Maybe you're not wanting to go out in other territories, but how do you want to grow and scale? So you want to think about what are the systems and that I need to put into place so that I don't have everything depending upon me. So before you think about hiring another person, ask yourself these three questions. If someone started on Monday, would they know exactly what success looks like? Would they know how to solve the most common problems in the business? And then would they know when they can make a decision without asking you? So if the answer is no to any of those, just know that's perfectly normal. Most businesses are doing the exact same thing, but this is an opportunity for you. So it's probably looking at if I hire someone, then I'm going to continue to be the bottleneck. If I take the same amount of time and I implement a system and I do it strategically, then I'll have more clarity through the systems, and then I'll be able to hire the person and be able to run them through this. So I'll leave you with one idea that has guided businesses to be very, very successful. You want to systemize the routine. So everything that you're doing more than once, you need a system behind that. And then you want to humanize the exception. So there's those exceptions in the industry, whether it's with the person or with the customer, that you humanize that. And so you bring in that human element. But the other areas that you can just repeat, you want to make sure that you have a system, building that system for the things that happen every day. So thinking about your onboarding, your follow-up, your sales system, your communication, the decision making. And then once you have those in place, then you can let your people bring creativity and great customer service and ownership around that system and the areas that require that human touch. So that's where the freedom starts, not by doing more yourself, but by building a business that doesn't depend on everything around you. So if today's conversation resonates with you, then I want to invite you to take the next step. This isn't about trying to figure it out alone. When you have somebody that is an outside advisor that is able to look at this, they're not in the emotion of the business. And so they're able to look at everything outside of that frame. Because sometimes when you're in it, it's really hard to figure out, like, I know, I'm passionate about what I'm doing all the right things, but it's still not working. Then we'd love to offer you a business strategy session where we'll come in and we'll help you to identify what are the gaps in your own business and what you can figure out, like what are the solutions to some of the challenges. And we'll be able to identify where your business still depends upon you and uncover what's keeping you stuck and also help map out a roadmap for how to get to that next level in your business of the growth that you're wanting to get to. So if that is something that interests you, we'd love to invite you into that business strategy session. We can show you our action business operating system that we use to help businesses build a business that works without them. It's really cool. We can run through some questions and show you some of those prompts. Love to be able to invite you, be able to connect with you and see if there's ways that I can help you find ways to build that business to help you to not be the bottleneck any longer. And if you have other ideas of topics that you would love to hear about, challenges, frustrations in your business, we'd love to hear about those as well. We can certainly do another business clarity series around that to be able to help support you. So if you found today's conversation valuable, make sure you leave us some love in the comments. You can follow us on Action Coach Tampa Bay on our Facebook, our YouTube, our LinkedIn, and we'll also have the business clarity in a playlist for you as well. So thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time on the Business Owner Clarity Series. Bye for now.